I'm going to do my second intro for the second time today because I forgot to press go live when I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies Presser. As we have a second eye or one eye on the Crows and Eagles game for 2 or 3 obvious reasons, while we also complete a ladder outcome or ladder predictor to see the possible variables that we could find ourselves in over the next 2 rounds. It's time to talk all things black and white. My days, why do I feel flustered? Why do I feel flustered? I'm sorry. What is it? 6:04. It's just not good enough, is it, ladies and gentlemen? It's just not good enough. What's the score, guys? What's going on in this Adelaide West Coast game? What's the score here? What are we seeing? What are we seeing? Come on. Adelaide 34, West Coast 33. Okay. What's going on? West Coast? I see you. Adelaide, what are you doing? How are we all? Are we feeling good? Let's catch up to the chat. Mark, welcome. Ella Manny, Andoni, Benny Zero, the goats. The goats are here. Mick, Mike. Chris, welcome. Mello. Yeah, so we are admittedly keeping an eye on this game for obvious reasons. We'll jump into that in a sec. Benny, 5 Pies Footy gifted memberships right off the bat. That's you know what that is? That's manifesting positive energy going into the week. I for one, I don't know about you guys, I'm already starting to get a bit excited for the game coming this Saturday. You know why? Because the game was on Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday makes today Sunday. We're basically 4 days past, aren't we? Or 3, yeah? Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Thursday to Friday is 24 hours. Make that 48 hours on a Saturday. Okay, 3 days. All right, we're 3 days past it, right? You know what I mean? But there's reason just to start just heating up ever so slightly, just to get a little bit excited, okay? Am I nervous? Oh, of course. Here I am. Here we are. MD, welcome. What's going on? Who else is here? Crom. Sean, welcome. Sean, how'd you go? Did you access that Discord link? How'd you go? I know you were asking to see if there was a Pies Footy group chat somewhere, and I did respond. So let me know if you had any dramas there. Freddie Jong is here. Bazza, how you going, mate? How did AFL 26 go? Yeah, it was all right yesterday. Played a couple hours on stream. So just trying to figure out the controls and whatnot. But I'll probably do that once a week when there's usually the day or the day or the 2 days after the game. There's not a lot of content coming out and news, especially when the round is still on for the Pies. So I'll probably try to do that. Yeah, a little bit more. If we even come to 10, Tarkmedia says, if we even come into 10 points within Adelaide, I'm amped. Come on. Guys, no team is invincible. We've seen this round. Stream is a bit choppy on your phone and PC. It might. Let me check on my end, Benny. Give me 1 second, mate. Emma, give me 1 second. I see your message. I just want to make sure is it me or is it Benny? Because mine doesn't look choppy on mine. I'm doing these ones and it looks all right. 1 second. Might just be you, Benny. No, you're right. Let me see if it's still choppy right now. It was chop 8 just then. 1 second. All right. It looks like it seems to have recovered. It seems like it's recovered the stream. Let me see. Maybe. Yeah, okay. I think it's fine. Benny, if you see it again, just let me know, okay? All right, so Emma, what are your thoughts about the 7 players in our team that have lost form in rounds 18 to 22. So I don't know who you might be referring to. Like, I don't know that. I'm sure you've probably seen something on one of the media sources. I'm gonna say we're probably talking about Jack Crisp. We're talking about Jack Crisp, Steel Side Bottom, maybe Jamie Elliott, Brody Myercheck. Who else would there be? Ned Long is another obvious one. That's 5 players. Who are the rest? Who are the rest? Name one team on who will finish in the top 4. Name one team on who will finish in the top 4 and who will miss out. You know why I think it might be choppy? I've got a bunch of other applications open, so I'm just going to close them real quick. 1 second. I changed my streaming settings on this streaming platform. So if it's choppy, I think I know what the obvious fix is. I just would probably need to pause the stream. But it sounds like you guys are going okay at the moment. Do I think Bobby and Bo will play? I hope so, mate. I hope so, Chris. All right, let's get into this ladder predictor because there's so much happening. There's so much happening. I think a few things have gone our way. Guys, preface is to this ladder predictor is the obvious one is we need to worry about ourselves. We need a win against Adelaide. We don't want to lose and then have to rely on gaining form against this Melbourne side. But even then, Melbourne aren't as gettable as they were when we came up against them in the King's birthday clash. They're going to be a tough game, guys. You just saw, I don't know if you guys just saw the doggies and the D's just then. That was a cracker game. Probably the game of the round. Probably. And so it's not going to be, I'll tell you what it's not going to be. It's not going to be the same game that we saw at the end of last year against the D's. How about that? Emma, what are we saying? Emma? What are we saying? Yes, on the media sources, Jack Crisp, Jamie Elliott, Ned Long, Side Bottom, McStay, Darcy Moore. You know what I call them, Emma? Spot fires. And what I've been saying the last 3-4 days since the game, the only way they can turn around their misfortunes or their lack of form is make better decisions. Make better decisions and execute, and that will find them where they need to be, back in good form. Obviously, a good cohesive unit gelling well will help, and things clicking from one end to the other, because it's all intertwined. But also, when you have an opportunity, Jamie Elliott, to kick a goal early, do that. Jack Crisp, when you have an opportunity to give someone the dusty don't argue, execute that. When Ned Long has a chance to, maybe Ned Long is not putting himself in the best position. I don't know if he's going to be in the team against Adelaide, I'll be honest. Still Side Bottom, Sidey, guys, to be comparing Sidey's form now versus the start of the year is probably unfair, because I feel like Sidey was overperforming at the start of the year. And now he kicked a couple goals last week. I thought he was okay against Hawthorn. He wasn't horrible, was he? Stream's choppy, laggy as. Video is choppy. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go settings, stream. Okay, what can we do here? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll literally be back in like 60 seconds, okay? Bear with me. 1 moment. All right. Guys, I think we're back. Let me just double check. All right. Guys, I think we're back. Let me just double check again. I think I've just adjusted a couple of settings, so hopefully that does the job. Let's see. See if we're live. 1 moment. I do apologize, guys. That should... All right, so I'm back now, according to what I can see on my end. Let me know if it's choppy again. If it is choppy this time, I'll just leave it be. You're just going to have to deal with me not being in sync with the audio. So we'll have to deal with that. But let's go to this. Let's go here. Let's do the ladder predictor. Let's go predictor. Reset all. All right, here we are. Okay, let's do it. So we know what results are here. Guys, we're going to have to factor in that there's a chance that this might happen. Yeah? So just for the sake of it, let's get one of the more least likely outcomes out of here. All right? I might just make this a wee bit smaller. Might make this a wee bit smaller. Maybe go bang. Ooh, But yeah, we got to be mindful that that game that we that game going into Melbourne in the final round, that's not going to be as easy as maybe some are predicting now, given how they've been much better. Vid's fine. All right, cool. All right, let's go. So we've got West Coast potentially beating Adelaide. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, isn't it? All right, this is a nothing game. What do we think? We'll do both results here, but let's just go Fremantle at Optus Stadium. I think there's a world where Brisbane are in some real trouble right now. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. I think we do. I think we'd be keen to see Adelaide lose against West Coast because then they get their colours lowered. They're coming off a 6-day break from Western Australia, coming up against Collingwood, who have had a 9-day break, where we've got a bunch of experience to lean on and rebound quicker than some other teams might. Absolutely, I want West Coast to beat Adelaide, 100%. It'll be the most Collingwood thing if the Pies beat the Crows, says Jake. Mate, bring it on. Bring it on. I've seen us come back from worse positions. I saw Ben say earlier, we got pumped in the opening round, completely turned that around against Port Adelaide. I understand the opposition is different, but similar to last season, we got absolutely destroyed by Hawthorn. And then a couple of weeks later, we're matching it with Sydney. We beat Brisbane, who ended up going to win the flag. So, all right, let's have a look. I reckon let's do Gold Coast for that one. This one doesn't matter. Hawthorn should be like an 80% chance of beating Melbourne. Let's say we beat Adelaide. Let's just say we'll go. I'll just go Richmond here. It doesn't really matter. Sydney potentially. That's real after beating Brisbane. Bulldogs. Just can't see it, Craig, to win the last two to make a point. Don't lose faith yet. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Let's say we beat Melbourne. Gold Coast should beat Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, but that's also somewhat a danger game. Gold Coast travelled much better this year, but last year they were horrible. West Coast in front, brilliant. That works perfectly. Leans into our ladder predictor we're doing right now. Crows beat North. Geelong beat Richmond. Sydney beat West Coast. GWS should beat St Kilda. Let's say the Doggies get up on Freo. And then Hawthorn beat Brisbane. Gold Coast beat Essendon. So if we win, based on these results, guys, if we win our last two games, we could finish second versus Geelong in a home final, okay? LAB. So let's change some results. Let's say we lose to Adelaide. There's a world where we can still finish fourth if we only win one game. What needs to happen? Well, Hawthorn can win their games. Brisbane are in trouble anyways. Freo, have we given Freo the wins as well here? We gave Freo the win here. Did we give Freo a win in round 24? No, we didn't. Okay, so we can if we lose against Adelaide and beat Melbourne, we can still slide out of the 4. Collingwood versus Brisbane. Gee whiz. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? That would be as Pommy enters the chat, you know what this would be? This would be Collingwood stumbling into the finals after losing to Adelaide, beating Melbourne. Except at the G, almost a reverse fixture of the Carlton versus Brisbane fixture. Hey, Pommy, I bumped into a lady who watches you and Terry. Her name's Rebecca. Pom, she's actually Pom as well. She's from York, near Leeds. She said she watches you and Terry. I'm not sure if you know this Rebecca lady. She's from York, and she's her partner her partner goes for Collingwood. So apparently, if the partner's in the chat, g'day. Apparently, the partner watches Pies footy and she hears me secondhand, but she loves watching you and Terry. Son was out. So Benny, thanks for the 10, brother. What do we got here? Legends, a backflip today. Now I think it was primarily lack of effort. Still not the best form. Didn't see it that way Thursday. Just thought too slow and bad execution. Good news effort can switch on. I did see some of those clips. I sure did see a few efforts that were lackluster. But Benny, keep in mind that some of those clips were when the Pies were already down by 40 points. So when Pendles is getting outrun by, there was someone through the corridor. There's a few moments where it was just, the game was almost out of our hands and maybe wasn't, I hate to say this, but wasn't worth putting in the effort off a 5-day break. So there's a bit of what's the word? Lethargy from that 5-day break. Look, there's a million things we can say that went against us, but yeah, at the end of the day, we were underwhelming. We probably didn't take the moments early in that first quarter when we had the opportunity to impact the scoreboard a little bit more, and then we got absolutely destroyed around the ground. So that's that one. Yep. Eagles winning. What's the score? What's going on here? Why, chat? What is going on here? What are we seeing? What are we saying? Halftime. Okay, I see you. All right, come on, hey. Look. At the end of the day, guys. Look. Calm. We still got to do our thing, right? Yes. We want Adelaide to get off their high horse. We want Adelaide to suffer in this game in Western Australia off a 6-day break, but at the end of the day, all these ladder predictors are made redundant if we don't win against Adelaide. And in saying that the Pies can make the top 4, winning one of the next 2, it just feels imperative that the Pies need to beat the Crows next week to instill some faith and some optimism and belief that we can beat these top sides. We don't want to stumble into the finals because of results X, Y, Z. We just need to lift, as Manny would say. We still need to lift, Daniel. That's right. Need to lift. Do a predictor where we lose our next 2. Fine. If we lose if it's a done thing. If we lose our next 2, it doesn't, what's the point? Let's go Melbourne. So that's we could potentially verse Hawthorn again at the G. No. Sorry, we could verse GWS at the G, who are our bogey side at the moment. Is there a world where Di Mattia comes in? I don't think so. We'll leave that for the predicted 23, but no, I don't think. I think it's way too risky. You don't want to have too many wholesale changes. We're probably going to have to make minimum 2 changes next week for Bobby and Bo. So 2 omissions perhaps. And then also with Jeremy Howe out, McStay goes into the back line. Is there something else that will happen? I think Ned Long could get omitted just based off his poor form recently. I think that's real. Firstly, before any ladder predictions, Fly has to reconcile the player's mindset. We have the list. We're just going to find that faith, that belief again. Yeah, Manny MD, after a couple days between the final siren and leading into the start of the week, he's MIA. He's still sleeping, bro. He's crashed out. We want Adelaide to win. We want Adelaide to win. Our fight isn't for top 2 anymore, and Adelaide will come out firing if they lose today. Mate, I just want to. I want to see Adelaide second guess whether they are them, and for that to happen, they need a West Coast loss. Enduring or conceding a loss against West Coast will hurt them. 1 versus 18th, like that. That's gonna rock you mentally. So this is if we lose 2 games, the next 2 games, right? What else can we see happening? So let's look. We want to live, guys. We want to live in a world where we go 2-2. 2-2. What are some results we can adjust here? What if Port if Port beat Gold Coast, there's a world. If we go 2-2, we can still finish first. Pommy, fall off from the media on the Pies is ridiculous. They'll find some form over 2 weeks, and no one wants them in the finals, in my opinion. That's what we're all hoping for, man. Like, just hopefully, just bounce back. The fall off from the media is similar to that of when we played against GWS in the opening round. There was only 2 games that weekend, so there was a heap of criticism. I remember that week. That was pretty tough. Look, anyone in that 8, like anyone in this 8 is gonna put their hand up. That's for sure. Am I reading this right? Have I given the Bulldogs 2 wins? Have I given the Bulldogs 2 wins and they still might not make finals? No, I haven't. Okay, so that could also happen. Does that change? It does change things. Freo, it's look the contrast in just one result going a different way. It doesn't change, so we'd still be 1-4. If Fremantle win that game, we could verse Adelaide in a first qualifying final, which with the double chance at home, I fancy that. But I also fancy that at home. Man, 2 wins is critical. Critical. Who do Dogs play? Well, they could play Fremantle in Perth. Let's change a couple other results. Brisbane a 1 loss from being out of the final. Like that's what we're like late in the season. That's what changes. This is fascinating. Very fascinating. What else? What else can happen? Like there's results that just aren't going to happen. Like Geelong. What if Geelong get up against Sydney? We could see Collingwood versus Adelaide at home. Change that up again. It's Gold Coast at home. Like that probably seems. Does that seem like a more likely result? Like I think we're giving Sydney every chance against Geelong in Sydney, are we not? They play Fremantle in the last round, Badri. I'm not too sure who they've in the next round. They verse. Where are they? They verse the Eagles, which at this point I'm not willing to say. I'm not willing to say this is an easy win, given how the game is going at the moment in the first half. So weird, eh? Very weird. The Golo is getting tighter. Manny, welcome. Galimera, did you just wake up, mate? Did you just wake up from Thursday night? Where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, you were here Friday. Did you crash out for a couple of days? What else have we got? What else are some other possible results? I mean, is this real? Wow. Even GWS can still make top 4. Like, Gold Coast, man, this is crazy. There's a world where Gold Coast could finish first. There's a world where they can finish 8th. Can I give Hawthorn a win? Wait, Hawthorn, if they win their last 2, surely they can still make the 8. No, they can, yeah. If they beat Brisbane, they come in. Wow. The expansion clubs could potentially face off. This would be a cracker at Perth. Just got home, Malaka. From where? Oriental. Ella. Eagles were really fired up for this one pre-game. Frampton will be better for the run. I hope so. All our defenders were sitting ducks on the weekend or on Thursday, weren't they? Yeah, momentum is paramount going into the finals. That's why you just can't fake it, can you? Yeah. The top 8 is very tight. Incredibly tight. There's so many permutations to go through. At the end of the day, you just got to win. Just got to win. And start with winning on Saturday. Pommy lad, you doing a watch along Saturday night? Let them know in the chat, because I'm sure there's some people who want to tune in to a watch along. I won't be doing it, that's for sure. I'll be with my brother losing my shit. Is part-time Bobby playing? I hope so. We'll find out. Probably find out on Tuesday if he's healed from his gastro. Frampton or Dean, you picked a guy who will only have 3 kicked on him. Says your local espresso. If we can get back to this forward half game where we keep it in our forward half, Billy Frampton is a back shoulder defender. Loves playing on the back shoulder of their opposition forward. But when you ask Billy Frampton to defend in an open field, he's a sitting duck. What do you expect? Perryman in the guts? No, I'm happy with Perryman in the back line, Mick. Very happy with Perryman in the back line. Without Perryman, Quaynor, and Bruzzy on Thursday, it would have been much more uglier. You'll cop hate for going how good Bo is. That's the thing. If Bo's back in the side, Billy's back in the side, that's injecting a lot of pace back into our front half. And will certainly help us around the stoppages and not getting opened up in those stoppages around the grounds. I hope Skipworth is in Perth watching the game behind goals and starts plotting a strategy. Love that. Perriman has been awesome this year. Bobby's not playing this week if he doesn't turn up to train. I'm sure he'll be there, hopefully. I'm sure he'll be there, hopefully. You can't have that in the same sentence, can you? That doesn't scream out a surety, does it? Why is Perryman nicknamed Pez? I don't know. I think it's just an Australian thing when sometimes people just, when they want to add a bit of, I don't know, slang to a name and want to make a nickname out of a name, they just add Z to the end of it. Like Darren can be Dazza, can be Daz. Terry can be Tez. What else is there? You know what I'm saying, right? But they call him the Pez dispenser for the Eckies. Gee whiz. Teresa, welcome. Welcome. Teresa, I hope you know I wasn't grilling you on Instagram. I hope you know that, right? It's all love. I just thought the fan takeaway that you submitted was very open for interpretation. And we did that. We did it all together on the channel on Friday night, which was great. And I understand Instagram, people can take it out of context because it's only a 90-second clip. But I did make sure, I wanted to make sure I had a caption explaining what your reason for stating that we had destroyed Houston. And I did mention that you said that Josh Dacos not playing outside of the back line from the start of the season has destroyed Dan Houston. So I hope you understand that. Yeah, there was no malice in trying to work it against you. Yes, chronological. Timothy, welcome, mate. How are you? After the game, I thought Houston had to be dropped, but after a few days, I've decided we have to play him. We have to play him. We have no choice. Quite simply, we cannot do anything. We simply cannot do anything but to play him on the field. Whether he can play on the wing, I'm not sure. Did he play on the wing at all on Thursday? I don't think so. Maybe the lever we have to pull is the one where Josh Dacos plays more midfield. Play more midfield. And just keep trusting Houston with the ball. It's a scary thought because he's kicking it off the shin at the moment, Houston, with the way he's kicking. But you just have to trust that the first few kicks he gets in the game against Adelaide are going to be cherry ripe like they were against when he was wearing the port Guernsey. She cops worse. She cops worse in a pommy chat. That's good to know. That gives me some solace. The comments seem kind enough on Instagram. They're not blasting her. Will Maynard play tall on Tex or Fogarty? Either or. I've confidence that Bruz will do everything he can to keep them quiet. Jazz, you can do Jazz. Is that why? Is your name Jasper Farid? Farid. If Mercury plays on Saturday, we can't have him doing this hamstring again for a third time. He won't be available for weeks. What, mate? A third recurring hamstring? That would be painful. He played wing on in the first 90 seconds end times. Okay. Interesting that. Maynard is not 100%, but still plays good. How do you mean he's not 100%? Where did you see that? I know he had some sort of hip niggle a couple of weeks ago in the captain's run, but could he not be healed from that, potentially? I want to see Fly up and about this week. I think another lever we can pull without getting too cute with selection is just perhaps more midfield time for Josh, and just it does scare me to rely on Dan Houston even more, just with the lack of confidence that he has right now. That's what scares me. Let me see. So if we have a look since the Gold Coast game, what his midfield time has looked like. Since the Gold Coast game. Was this Gold Coast? It was. So in the game where he's had the most amount of midfield time in 2025, he's had his best game by far and away. Like, just absolutely destroyed it in that last quarter. Maybe we need to get that back up to 40%. With Ned Long probably out of the side, with Collingwood looking a little bit slow, truthfully, at the moment, maybe this is the lever we pull. And then we just live and die by the Dan Houston sword in our back half. Because how many clearances? He's had like 2-1, 2-2 clearances. Hasn't been amazing around the stoppages with this limited midfield time. I want to see them really release the shackles here and just go for it. Just go for it. Especially with Nick Dacos not 100%. If that means Nick play off the half back line a little bit more, why not? Why can't that be Nick off the half back flank? We saw him do it against Fremantle and then Richmond, but we didn't really see it. Did we really see Nick off the half back line against Brisbane and Hawthorn? I thought he played more forward. And it does seem like he has to be nursing some sort of injury, starting on the bench for extended time, playing in the forward line, not the back line. The idea you can have only one dominant halfback is nonsense. It's like saying a wingman is down in form because the other wingman is playing well. But Matthew/Luke, you have to admit that Dan Houston going from being the guy at Port to playing second fiddle and playing more man on as a defender rather than being that guy who has license to roam like Josh has, you can't say that hasn't affected Dan Houston's game, along with having to find your way molding into the side. There's definitely an impact on that for sure. There is. Houston, with all the media attention, screams 40 touches, 15 score involvements this weekend. Ralphie went in on him, cheat code for a good game. That would be nice. Maybe Dan Houston is going to resemble his best or imitate his best Michael Jordan. I took this personally moment, just scrolling through the social media feed right now, just keeping all the receipts for when he does vindicate himself. And I'm hoping he can vindicate himself against Adelaide, where his season was ended last year. So there's a bit of emotion in that, isn't there? For sure, there has to be. McStay will go back and Cox will come in. I hope so. Hope so. 4 training sessions listed for the Pies this week. Guys, I'm a little bit apprehensive to go to training now. I really am. I said all season I don't want to display or show the rest of the world what the Pies are doing on a weekly basis in season. Pre-season's a little bit different for mine. Off season, pre-season, but now I'm coming back to the thought of maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe just don't share what the team is going through on a weekly basis and give the opposition as little intel as possible. I don't know. I'm always I've been conflicted with that thought for the most part of the season. Coxie, every chance to come back. McStay will play backline for sure. Charlie Dean's not coming in, is he? Membry down back? Don't think so, Timothy. Manny, robot with a flat battery. Ella. I need to be aware my comment was a piss take. I'm sarcastic as hell. I wasn't going to reply to myself. I need you to be aware my comment was a piss. That's okay. It's also, even in the same breath, it's still a great conversation starter. And I think just by how well it was received pretty well in the live stream the other day. So don't mind it. Rick, I think Cox is a sneak. Yep, we know that. Yep, cool. Malaka, check. Is it his first game back at Adelaide Oval? Have we played in Adelaide this year? We didn't play Adelaide in Adelaide. We played at Gather. Who did we play against in Gather Round? Did we play Sydney for Gather Round? I think that's when we played them. Didn't we? Played in Adelaide against Sydney for the Gather Round. I think Cox plays to help bring the ball to ground, says Mello. Adelaide shitting themselves. Your local, he's another pure Kingy. He said Evans was pants and always was better. Since then, always been dropped twice and Evans has turned. He had a good game against Gold Coast last night, didn't he? MJ the GOAT. Eagles by 11. What's going on here? Hello. Can we get a score check? Can we get a score check, ladies and gents? Oh! Huh? Hello. This was not what we were expecting, guys. Come on. Love that. Love every bit of that. Up the Wiggles. Up the Wiggles. Rick, you're just not allowed to go to the games anymore. I'm not, mate. I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna go to any. I'm gonna go to the finals. That's for sure. I will be going to the finals. That's facts. But I'm shit out of luck. My record at home with my brother at my family's house, like 10-1 and something this year. The only game I've seen us lose at the fam's house this season was GWS game. And do you even count that being opening round? Charlie Dean might come back this week. Don't be surprised. I don't think so. Kaylin asked, did you see the Insta post that Bo liked about players not being paid for their talent? I did. Apparently, from what I've heard, Bo McCreary is a bit of a serial Insta post liker. He loves that like button. But also, he's probably just agrees with the fact that someone like Mychek should be paid. I don't think it would have anything to do with his contract per se. He wouldn't be that silly to like that if it was in reference to himself. We played Sydney in the Gather Round. Cool. Go the Eagles. Eagles are on. We love it. We love it. Houston was out. We were fine. Big call, Naz to take the Brownlow off Nakos. I have not had a look at the Brownlow predictor. The only thing I've been abusing of recent times is a ladder predictor. I will worry about the Brownlow predictor. Never. My main concern is the flag pies. Phil Thorpe concussed. Is that real? No way. AC gone. Okay. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy, but hey, it's unfortunate. Call it an eye for an eye. Phil Thorpe for Jeremy Howe. Now we can play Dean on him. I mean, if Phil Thorpe wants to play with one shoulder, we'll bring Charlie Dean in. How about that? Teresa just confirms, yes, Bo likes everything. Don't take anything from him liking stuff on the socials. Chris, Eagles beating Crows. Don't champ. You're late. You're late to the party, mate. You're late to the party. We're already here. Mate. Has anyone noticed that when Nakos or Braz are captain, we win 100% of the time? As much as I'd love Nick or Braz to be captain over Darcy, that stat doesn't mean much to me. Phil Thorpe is not injured, says Mark. The ball is definitely bouncing the Eagles' way. Does Ed Allen come back in for speed? Yeah. He played... I'm thinking Rowan Steele for a bit of speed. Some precision with his ball use. Wouldn't trust Dean even if the Thrill Thorpe had one shoulder. Fair. Yeah, I think... Yeah, look, we'll save it for the predicted 23, but names that float in my mind are Ed Allen, Rowan Steele. Definitely in lieu of Ned Long, that's for sure. It's so sad, like the downfall of Ned Long in the last 6 weeks or whatever it's been, it's disappointing. Like, I'm flat for him because he was playing, early in the season, he was playing like he was going to be a star. and he's had this massive lull. I'm not saying he can't bounce back, but it seems like his bounce back might not happen this year. Watch along? Watch along, you reckon? We could. I could just turn it on. I don't know how many people in the chat. Should we do a watch along? Watch along for Crows and Eagles. What do you reckon? Should we do that? Just yes or no? Let me know and I can just chuck it on. I probably won't be able to do a scoreboard. I haven't prepared a scoreboard. We can just watch it and chat shit. What are we saying? Yes or no? Watch along for Crows and Eagles. If you want to stick, do you want me to stick around? Let's have a look. All right, quite unanimous. All right then, say less. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do this. Can I do? What if I do this? What if I do this? Let's turn off this BRB. I mean, like, I can keep score, but I've just got the Franks and Dolphins and the Collingwood one. What if we do this? All right, let's go KO. I gotta put my AirPods in. Guys, let me know, is my video lagging like it was at the start? Or is it okay? I hope it's okay. From live, mute. It's all good? It's rock solid? I can't do commentary. Do less commentary. I can't do commentary. Commentary, I'll get copyright, bro. Peatling subbed out. It's all good. I might not do the scoreboard. Let's just watch it here. Can I change the Phil Thorpe? So is he out of the game? He's on the bench. He looks okay. Relatively okay. Does he? Doesn't he? Disconnect AirPods. And I'll reconnect them. Peatling. 1 second, guys. Just setting up my AirPods so I can hear the game. Live. All right. I'm watching. Teresa, Ned will be fine. He's still a very inexperienced kid. I can 100% see Ned Long bouncing back. But my question is, will he bounce back this season, Teresa? Will he survive to play against Adelaide is probably the more pertinent question right now, don't you think? Don't you think? It's rock solid now. Beautiful. Protocols. Peatling is sub. Phil Thorpe doing the protocols. So it's 11 points the margin. Teresa, you know me. I had 8 rooms by final. Pommy, we still got to do the collab. So I need you to give us an update on McGuan, Saxena, McCarthy. McGuan, it sounds like McGuan's not even going to bloody be drafted in the first round, which we were talking about this last year, weren't we, Pom, about McGuan? We said, what if McGuan just has a really underwhelming second year and then the Pies just pay absolutely piss all for him and then he just lifts to a whole new level once he gets drafted? Like that was a conversation we had. I vividly remember talking about that. So if that's what we've been doing with Tom McGuan this year, and that's why he's slid down the draft rankings, I'll live with that. Adelaide shot on target. Saligo, he's kicked it. It's gone the other way. Guys, just so you know, I'm on 13. I'm a little bit behind. Hold on. Can I slide this forward? I haven't got my stream settings. My stream settings will have us a little bit behind. Commentators just said Phil Thorpe is fine. Guys, I'm at 13-0. I'm at 12:58, 57, 57. He's testing the shoulders. He's doing these ones. We paid piss all for Josh. Think we got him for pick 57? Yeah. But Josh took some time to acclimatize to AFL level. It seemed like Josh didn't really become him, or didn't find that extra level until his brother joined the team. It was like Nick Dacos buffed Josh Dacos. That's what it felt like. All right, just so you know, we're at 12, 26, 24, 23, 22, 21. Just so you guys know. Yeah, done, Pom. Pom, I'll message you after the gram. See if we can put something together. We sure are doing a makeshift. Yeah, Joshy nearly got dropped. I remember that. He's played some VFL. This is definitely a makeshift watch along, that's for sure. That's real. Seems like West Coast's pressure has just been on all game. I don't know why they feel like are they up and about because they're versing the best team in the league right now, or like is that their motivation? What's their motivation right now? For those who are joining in, we are just keeping an eye on. We are now keeping an eye on the West Coast Adelaide game. That's what we're doing. We're doing a watch along. So we got a forward 50 stoppage. Thilthorpe still testing out his shoulder, it seems, on the sidelines. It was McGovern's farewell. Okay, fair. All the pressure is on Adelaide to win. Eagles got nothing to lose. It's amazing how much this game is played in your head. Yep, it's a mental game. Geez, at the start of this round, you'd be going Brisbane, premiership favourites. You'd go Adelaide. They're by far and away the best team right now. Days later, Brisbane fumble the bag against Sydney. Adelaide they're in a precarious position right now against the Crows, who are farewelling Jeremy McGovern. It's going to open up the conversation again. Watch SCN tomorrow. Gold Coast, the team to beat. Hawthorn last week. Can't win the flag without Will Day. This week coming, they're premiership favourites. Come on, Cripper. Oh, Shanahan, get up, son. Take him. Good boy. See it out then. The 8 is hard to separate. It's anyone's flag this season. Absolutely. You walk past the stadium earlier. The noise was insane. How far away do you live from up the stadium, Teresa? Adelaide are hungry. I'll give them that. To be fair, we were in a similar position against the Eagles when we played them, but we found a way to get the win. Let's see if Adelaide can do it. GC nearly choked against Carlton. Carlton started well and then they fought back late. I wouldn't say they nearly choked. Pies pressure. Yeah, it was one of those rare games where the Pies' effort, like you said earlier, Ben, just was nowhere to be seen. So at the very least, I think we will see the pressure return, especially with Bo and Bobby back, 100%. Absolutely. How's Dawson been going this game? Has he 40-minute drive? Yeah, right. So explain to me, enlighten me, how have you ended up supporting the Collingwood Football Club if you live in Perth? Are you originally from Melbourne? Thilthorpe back on ground? Rats. Damn. That's all right. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Beat the rest. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the rest. And that includes an Adelaide team that comprises of Riley Thilthorpe and Taylor Walker and the Fog. Okay, so they're farewelling Dom Sheed, McGovern. AFL just backtracked. My bad. What'd you say? Mixtapes. AFL just backtracked. My bad. What do you mean mixtapes? I mean, Thilthorpe must be okay. If he's come back on and he's playing as a ruckman right now, I think he's all good. Ginnivan should be banned from all reunions. Lewiship prides himself in giving Hawthorn our game plan. I mean, if you've once played for a club, let's take Ginnivan for an example. If you've played for Collingwood and then you now play for another side, of course you're going to give your team that you now play for all the intel that you can possibly give to help your team win. Of course. You were raised around rugby, you didn't follow football till you were 10, and your mum got with your stepdad who was a mad pie supporter. You also lived in Melbourne for 4 years, so that heightened it. There you go. It's always interesting to hear why people who live in different countries or different states, why they support Collingwood. The Adelaide one is understandable because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, before Adelaide had a team in the AFL, there were the Port Adelaide Magpies in the SANFL. So by default, they would support Collingwood because it's the same colours. Is that the thought process there? There was no ACL gaslighting, Mark. There was AC joint conversations, which if you were looking at the sidelines, what was happening, that was very real. I was holding the ball. Okay. There's a huge Collingwood supporter base in Perth. Fair. Yeah, it's not a secret how Collingwood play. I mean, it's not going to take a Jack Ginnivan to unravel what the Pies are doing. His intel is not going to give anything more than what they might already have. You know what I mean? Liam Duggan. Manny. Crows. Mark. I think you're a little bit ahead, buddy. You're a little bit ahead, my friend. I'm at 7:12, 7:11 right now. If you want to be in time with us. No spoilers, please. I'm a little bit behind. There's nothing much I can do. If I want to do watch-alongs properly, I need to set up the settings pre-stream. Yeah, his intel didn't work for the first time, so it doesn't mean much, does it? Mark Williams, Greg Phillips, Bruce Abernathy, big names in SA football. Mark's a little bit sensitive. I think he's a Collingwood supporter. He's just the most pessimistic of pessimistic Collingwood supporters you'll ever come across. All played for Pies in the 80s? Okay. So that plays into it, doesn't it then, Matthew? I'll tell you one thing, though. What helps Ginnivan? Having played for Collingwood, whenever he plays against us, he seems to light it up against us. That's for sure. Optus Stadium's very good to watch the footy. Mellow. Seems like the environment's nice. It's lively, for sure. Or a very sensitive Adelaide fan. Crows have been under the pump. As soon as I turn on this watch along, Crows are under the pump. West Coast have been under the pump. 6:35 left to go in this third quarter. Come on, Wiggles, give us something. Look, at the very least, what the Eagles are doing right now, hopefully they're bruising the Crows. They'll have 6 days off before they have to come up against us. So, and now they're in front. Do we want to play Adelaide come in for loss? Look, I'm genuinely, at the end of the day, I'm not bothered either way. Whether they win or lose, could care less. The the real barriers for them is the fact that they're going to be coming off a 6-day break from Western Australia, coming up against the Pies side who need to respond, and they've had a 9-day break. That's all that matters. The cherry on top would be the Eagles beating the Crows. Of course, Adelaide will win. West Coast secure wooden spoon this year, 3rd time. They also finished last in 2010, 2023. Notice anything by those years? Yes, the Pies won the flag in those years, didn't they? 5-day break after travelling. True. It'll be quite late by the time they get home. All right. Come on, Wiggles. Time to respond. Do it for Dom Sheed and McGovern. Rankin trying to bustle his way out of the centre bounce there. How many in a row have we won at Adelaide Oval? Can somebody do a fact check for that? Or somebody check the stats on that question? How many games in a row have Collingwood won at Adelaide Oval? Is it close to 10? Is it close to 10, guys? Come on. The thrill seeker has got a shot right in front of goal. Think it's 10? Is it 9? Says Wolf. We are good at Adelaide Oval. 4. We win 4, Manny. Can we ban Mark? Mark, stop spoiling the result. I will put you in the naughty corner if you keep spoiling the result, mate. We're all trying to watch it together. 5:25, 5:24, 5:23. If you want to watch along with us, go to the right time slot. If not, do not spoil. We're going to be watching this from behind. We're about 20 seconds behind. Nothing I can do. Ned Kelly's got a goal. I've never heard that comparison. Thilthorpe and Ned Kelly because of the beard. I've not heard of that one before. All right. Come on, Wiggles. Give us something, man. Or at least make it look nice. What are you saying, Tark? Hold on, where's Tark? Make what look nice? Tark. Or like make it look like closer? What are you suggesting, Tark? Sorry. Come on, Wiggles. Give us a centre bounce here. Come on. Go, TK. Get it in. Go, Marek. Oh, you got options there, brother. Push. Hey. Come on. Ran. All right. Good response. Thilthorpe's beard. At least make it look nice. I don't mind. I like the scruffiness of it. Ran. All right. This has to be a goal. Mark, I'm just curious. How old are you? How long have you been supporting Collingwood for? Why do you talk in such a negative theme? Mate, Mark, even when we were 14-2, I remember you just nothing positive. God forbid if when we eventually have a season that is underwhelming, I'd hate to know the things you'd think of to say on chat. I'd say Mark is a kid, but I reckon Mark might be like 60, 65. Just yeah. West Coast won't win, unfortunately. Look, Bailey, we're here to see them bruise the Crows at the very least, and they're doing that. Let's do a survey. Who is the longest supporter? Well, the longest supporter should be the oldest supporter in the chat, right? 10 wins in a row at Adelaide Oval. Thanks, Wolfie. Appreciate that, mate. That's a great record. Mark's 12 or 65? Will Darcy Moore get dropped this week? No. Nah. Not this late into the season. What's the score? 58-59. I can't make a scoreboard. Because we've just randomly decided to do a watch along. So I didn't have time to make a scoreboard. Good signs for us next week. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can lean on to give us some confidence, but ultimately I think let's just trust that we've been good for 18 rounds of the year. We've been poor for the last 4 to 5 weeks for the most part. Expect us to bounce back. It's all we can do as fans. Expect us to bounce back. Yes, Flinny. Good signs for us next week if Adelaide are playing like this. Yes, also. Mark went quiet when we asked about his age, huh? Mark went very quiet. All right, 3:32 left in the third quarter. One's if you think West Coast can win. Two if you think the Crows will win. One's for Eagles win. 2 for Crows win. Let's see. Oh, Mark, deflecting our question, brother. Good intercept there. Yeah, Manny and Mick. I've followed Collingwood since the 80s. Legends member for 20 plus years. Huge. Stephanos, how often do you go to the games? Was born a Collingwood supporter around 45 years ago. Around 45. I was born around 45 years ago. All right. Would be the upset of the year. Certainly would be. Rankin goes inside 50. All right, come on, let's rebound, Eagles. Let's rebound. Come on, let's go. What age were you in 1990 and 2010? I was born in 97, Timothy. Yes, Ryan. Nah, goals, Liam. Goals. Just go goals, mate. That's it. Careful, I used to go every week. Okay. Good for you looking after your Mitera, mate. I respect that. I respect that highly, Stephanos. You were born in 77, Timothy? Good man. Come on, flying Ryan. Flying Ryan, did you bang it? Oh, it looks good. It looks very good. Let's go. Eagles back in front. When do we think we're rebuilding? Hopefully not anytime soon. Dom, your wife's grandfather died this year, age 101. He barracked for the Collingwood since the 30s. Wow. Firstly, condolences, and 2, wow, there's your longest standing supporter in 2025. Had to be. Since 79, Dragan Sezovic. Dragan. Is that Serbian, Bosnian? Which one is it? What about 2026? I don't know. Yeah. Went to 1990 grand final. Oh, here we go. Mark has disclosed his age accidentally. Went to 1990 as an 11-year-old, which means he would have been born. Mark is 79 born. There you go. Pants Mullane, my favourite player in that team. Pants turned 60 yesterday. He would have been 60 years old yesterday. God bless his soul. Do Keys respond immediately? No. Has the bounce? Okay. Take that, Marek. Good mark. Go. Play. They pay the mark or the free kick? We don't rebuild, we renovate. I like that. You have vivid memories of listening to the radio in 76 as we fought not to get the spoon. Ah. Just some of those things you remember, huh? Ah, the thrill seeker is taking a mark. Guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm not going to stick around for the watch along. I'm actually going to go eat. I'm starving. I will be watching this last quarter. Don't get me wrong, but I will not be streaming it any longer. I hate to leave you guys on that note, but we've got a big week coming, guys. We've got to save some petrol tickets as Thilthorpe misses. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pies Presser. Tuesday, Pies Presser predicted 23. Wednesday, more Pies Presser. Thursday, moving to Magnets. Friday, pre-game show. Saturday, pre-game show again. Post-game show. And hopefully we're celebrating a win there, guys. See you guys all tomorrow. And as always, go Pies.